Hi, everybody. Welcome to Studio de Jeffrey. And shout out to Carson, who is the first comment in the chat today. And Dan, who thinks there's not a party at Jeff's. That is not happening today. It's not happening on any day. It's just Saturday. I don't have my super cold golf lesson until noon. So we got things to talk about. Man, look at all the questions. No party at Jeff's. But good morning to all of you. And no, we can't draft a new owner. No. But DC for the Ravens, is that one of the reasons that I'm streaming right this second? Yes, it is. The Sir Jeffrey studio. Sir Jeffrey. The loss is finally not hurting Vance. Good. Laptop plugged in. No, we don't have the laptop right now. We're on the desktop. We're in Studio de Jeffrey. If it ever looks like this, behind me, we're in studio. And there is no threat of a laptop dying, which is very important. Now, I do need to work on the driver and the irons and the short game. And I have a torn rotator cuff. But whatever. Things are happening, and in your comments that I'm already seeing, yes, they're the things that I want to talk about today. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey. Thing number one that I want to talk about, I've got the Packers beating the Niners. Thing number one that I want to talk about is a man named Wink. Didn't Wink get lit up by Joe Burrow is a question from Samuel. He sure did. Now, I'm going to tell you about Don Wink Martindale, because he is a dude that I am interested in if Dan Quinn takes a head coaching job, which I still think he will. He just finished like 6 head coaching jobs. Wink Martindale has been the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens for the last 4 years. And in those 4 years, his defenses have ranked 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 19th in points, 1st, 4th, 7th, 25th in yards. Now, the 19 and the 25 were this year. It's probably why he's not there anymore. But this was also the year where he lost Marcus Peters for the year. He lost Deshaun Elliott for the year. He lost Marlon Humphrey for the year. They had other injuries. They had the COVID run for the Burrow game where they were playing an entire practice squad. So I'm interested in old Wink Martindale faux show to try to get him in here and be the defensive coordinator if Dan Quinn is gone. There is another name that I'm kind of interested in at defensive coordinator that I didn't think I would be interested in, but it turns out that maybe I am. And that would be Mike Zimmer. I didn't think I'd be interested in Mike Zimmer because if you know me, you know I'm anti-crusty. Crusty means old school, outdated NFL thinking, except when you apply it to Broadus, in which case it just means old guy. Okay? Mike Zimmer, since he's been the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, if you take his team and all the teams in the NFL, if you base it by what I base it on to decide who's played good football, which is EPA per play, don't worry about what it means. Just know that it's how good did you do. They've had the 3rd best defense in football, while Mike Zimmer has been the head coach at Minnesota over that entire stretch. Mike Zimmer might still be a good D coordinator. Now, it's true. Mike Zimmer's not old school in the bedroom. Now, here's the wild card about coordinators that I think needs to be discussed. Gina wants to know if Quinn is gone. I better not have froze. Clayton. I'm on a damn PC in here. If I got a PC that's freezing, somebody needs to give me money for a PC. Here's the thing about coordinators. This is the wild card, okay? For most of them, we don't know how awesome they are. We just don't. I can point to why Kyle Shanahan's a really good coordinator. I can do it. I can point to why Sean McVay is a really good coordinator. I can do it. Defensive coordinators, I have trouble with that because the 2000 Ravens, was their coordinator awesome or did they have kick-ass players? They had kick-ass players. Legion of Boom, Seattle, was that awesome coordination or was that Hall of Fame players playing together? The Tampa defenses, was that awesome coordination or was that players being awesome? And it's so impossible, I think, to try to separate those out that we don't truly know. I guess if I were like an NFL defensive coach, maybe I could look at other coaches and decide like what exactly, like if you were trying to say why Dan Quinn's an awesome defensive coordinator, I don't think you necessarily could give the answers. Like, do I think he's adaptable? Yeah. I think every defensive coordinator should be adaptable. But does he have some sort of top secret things that he did? Or did he take over a team that just had a historically bad defensive year, which wasn't going to happen again regardless? And then he got Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs caught a bunch of passes. I love Dan Quinn. I want him on my coaching staff all the time. But it's hard to separate players from scheme. The one thing that I really like about, that's a good point from Gina. It's all about the adjustments. And the Cowboys defense does seem to be, at least this year, good at throughout the course of a game being like, oh, they're on us. Oh, not anymore. Got it. Figured it out. And so maybe that's a big part of it is just the adjustments during the game. So it's tough. It's tough to figure out which coordinators are incredible and which coordinators just have the good players. Because so many great defensive coordinators or even offensive coordinators get head coaching jobs and then they suck because they don't have a quarterback or they don't have the good players that they're used to having, things like that. So that's that. Now that I've talked about defensive coordinators, what else was I going to do today? I do have mock drafts. I got 3 mock drafts. And I'm going to tell you, in these mock drafts, here's Mel Kiper's first, okay? Mel Kiper's mock draft has the Cowboys taking Trayvon Walker, defensive end, Georgia. And this is going to be a lesson you need to learn about mock drafts. If anybody tells you, like if you say the name of a player and they're like, he won't be there, you tell them you don't know what the hell you're talking about, okay? I was rebooting mock drafts when I was able to get CD Lamb before he was drafted. So I was like, well, that's not realistic. And we're already going to learn that from looking at all these things from Mel Kiper, from Dane Brugler, from Daniel Jeremiah, where in Daniel Jeremiah's and Dane Brugler's, Trayvon Walker is long gone. You can't have him. In Mel Kiper's mock draft, you can have him. In Dane Brugler's mock draft, you get Kenyon Green, offensive lineman, Texas A&M. In Daniel Jeremiah's, you can't have him because he's already gone. In Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, you get Nakobe Dean for the Cowboys to play linebacker, the Georgia linebacker. In Dane Brugler's, you can't have him because he's already gone. In this one, is he gone in Kiper's? Let me see. Control F. He goes 9th. So just tell people they don't know what the hell they're talking about when they tell you can't have a guy. Just do that. Clayton, do a mock. I'm not doing my own mock, and I don't know these guys yet. Hold on. I've only watched 12 players. Sky Gods on Twitch says, Jeff, I have a quick question. But then you didn't ask what are the chances of trading Collins in a future pick for someone's second? Maybe. I wouldn't be stunned unless, CJ, this is what we're not allowed to do. We're not getting Dean unless we move up. We don't know that. It's going to be the same thing as the CD Lamb thing. For instance, here's my 3 draft crushes. Tyler Linderbaum, the Iowa center, who a lot of people are going to say you can't have him. In 2 out of the 3 mock drafts, he was gone, and 1 you could have him. Kenyon Green, Texas A&M offensive lineman, and in 1 of the 3 he was gone. And Nakobe Dean, Georgia linebacker, who in 2 of the 3 was gone, and 1 he was the Cowboys pick. We don't know. Nakobe Dean's a 6 foot, 225-pound linebacker that could absolutely drop to 24. Absolutely, especially considering Devin Lloyd, the Utah linebacker, will probably go before him. You could absolutely not have 2 linebackers go in the top 23. Tyler Linderbaum is a short-ish, I guess, center and maybe a light-ish center. And generally speaking, centers start going in the late teens. Could he make it to 24? Sure he could. And Kenyon Green is going to be an NFL guard. Could the first guard off the board make it to 24 if 5, 6 tackles go before him and a center goes before him? Sure, they could. Sure. So I'm just telling you. You don't know. We don't know. Marcus, thank you for the super chat. Would you give up a 2nd-round pick for Quinnen Williams? You'd have to pay him immediately. I don't know if the Cowboys, money-wise, will have the opportunity to do that. You'd have to get rid of some folks, I would imagine, because they don't like to play the cap games where they move a bunch of money around. They did for Dak. They put a void year in the Dak deal, so they're willing to do it at times, but it is not their preferred way of doing things. So I'd imagine Quinn Williams, who's going into year 5? I'd imagine he's about to go into his 5th-year option. So if you were to trade for Quinn Williams, let me see here. He is going into year 4. Quinn was first-round pick, wasn't he? Did they decline his 5th-year option? He was number 3 overall. They declined his 5th-year option? Or is it not decided yet? Regardless. Yeah, you'd have 1 year of him at what? I don't know what all would come with that trade. Do you eat his roster bonus and his signing bonus? Not his signing bonus. So it'd be $5 million and then a bunch of money. I don't know how realistic that is for the Cowboys. Jerry said he wants to re-sign our guys. That's what they do. That's the Cowboy way. The Cowboy way is spending money on your own dudes and the kind of guys that you sign. Jordan Battle's going back to school, Robert. So you can't have Jordan Battle, the Alabama safety. Got to get my spark going. Trade Cooper and D-Law for young and cheap picks from Clayton. First of all, thank you for Super Chat. Trade Cooper and D-Law. I could see him trading Cooper. I could actually see them trying to trade D-Law, and I could see them trying to trade Lyle Collins. And when I say trying to trade, that also means they're candidates to be cut. And I want Amari Cooper to be here. I want Tank Lawrence to be here, and I want Lyle Collins to be here. But I also know that in different ways, people in the organization can look at all of them. Like, I know Jerry didn't like the Cooper vaccination thing. I know some people at the top don't think they can rely on Lyle Collins with the suspension thing. And who's the third one? Tank. I don't think anything in particular other than struggles to stay healthy, makes a bunch of money. But I could see any one of those being a candidate for them trying to save a bunch of money against the cap. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Anyone to look at trading a late round pick for, like the Robert Quinn trade? Yes. I love those scenarios. I don't have a player in mind though. But I love those scenarios because you trade for a guy like Robert Quinn, he plays for you, and you send a mid or late round pick, which the odds of that being as good as Robert Quinn ever are very low. And then you get a comp pick for Robert Quinn when he leaves. Like, that's incredible. It's awesome. Jordan Harper in the super chat. My dreams picking rounds 2 and 3 twice. Captain trade down. Now, Jordan, thank you for a reference to last year where Captain Trade Down was my mantra, and he did get to ride. Got us Micah Parsons and an extra 3rd-round pick. I haven't decided if I'm Captain Trade Down yet this year, but I am hearing that I'll have new merch. I'll have Captain Trade Down merch. That's going to happen. On the Twitch, any thoughts on Jerry's most recent comments regarding coaches? I have everyone I want under contract. Yeah, you just have to know who out of the 29 are under contract. Allegedly, the only one out of contract is a wide receiver, the wide receiver coach. But I would think Joe Philbin would be out of contract too, because the Cowboys give 2-year deals to their position coaches, at least almost always. And if he got a 2-year deal, this was his 2nd year. So I hadn't heard officially his contract is up, but I don't know. Will you ship to Canada? I don't know. It depends on, I don't know. I got people working on this. The design and then how they're shipped. I don't know those things because I'm not smart enough. I just hit talk. I hit the talk button. So when I have merch, I'll tell you how to get the merch. I want a bar too. So if you guys know any bar owners that are struggling, tell them I just want to slap my name on the building, call it the Jeffrey, and I'll promote it for a percentage. Thanks. The Panthers did hire Ben McAdoo as the offensive coordinator, and I'm really glad that they did. Gina, no, nor do I want it. I want control of myself and my future. Vance, thank you for the super chat. Remember someone saying one of the smartest things to do is look at the roster of teams looking for coaches. Can get a good player, the new head coach doesn't. The rosters of teams looking for coaches. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. You get a new GM somewhere, you get a new head coach somewhere, and a new regime don't give a half a crap about any of the old regime's players. Sure don't. So that is where you try to take advantage. All right, Jacob, tell your father-in-law to I'll bring him business for 5%, but we're changing the name of the bar to the Jeffrey. Okay. What's up, Iceman in the Twitch? I want to know who's going to get me a Twitch subscription today. Who's going to sub today? Is there a party at Jeff? There's not a party at Jeff's. Never is. Never will be. Well, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Trayvon Walker. Oh, yeah. Trayvon Walker was the Cowboys pick in the, what was that? The Mel Kiper mock draft. And Trayvon Walker could end up being the best pass rusher in this draft class. I say could. Aloha, Kramer. Could end up being the best pass rusher in this draft class. He's just not that today, but he moves incredibly well. He's strong. He's long. Trayvon Walker is a really good prospect. I think there's some better pass rushers, at least today. Who are you having a pizza party for if they draft them? I think my pizza party guy is probably Tyler Linderbaum, the Iowa center. I think he's going to be the best center in football 2 or 3 years from now. Unless it turns out that Creed Humphrey's rookie year is the way he's going to play all the time, and he's just the best center ever, and nobody saw it coming. I think I had him as like a second-round guy, and he was an absolute stud. Who's the best kicker in the draft? I have no idea. I don't believe in that. But I believe Oklahoma has a good kicker and a good punter, I think. San Diego State has the punter. I forget. Does LSU have a good kicker? I don't know. Jermaine Johnson's fun too. Florida State defensive end. Dicker the kicker. You need an offensive guard more than a center there on the Twitch. Yeah, that's why I like Kenyon Green too. I love Kenyon Green. I love Kenyon Green. He's a fun player. And I do have an LSU guard I got to watch. I got a lot of people I got to watch. I don't know if I have anything else that I had for you guys today. How do you feel about George Pickens? See, you guys are going to ask me about all these players that I haven't watched yet. Your boy is 12 players in. Maybe I should end this stream so that I can go watch the damn players. Yes, I would let Connor Williams walk. My understanding is he'll have a real market. He's going to get a decent payday, and you'll get a 4th or 5th round comp pick for him. And I'll take it. That's the sort of person you replace. It's not the sort of person you re-sign. You only got so much money. To pay your own. Just do a mock draft. Clayton, I don't know enough players to do a mock draft. I'm not doing a mock draft. How would you fix the team this offseason? And the way I would fix this team, step 1 is I would create a new coaching position, because I don't think you could steal a guy if he's under contract to do the same job. But I would call Cleveland and I would ask for Bill Callahan. And Bill Callahan would pick up the phone and he'd be like, "What's going on?" And I'd be like, "I'd like to offer you the job of being my offensive line coach and my assistant head coach." You just add a title onto it and you give him a bunch of money. And you tell Bill Callahan, "Hey, my offensive line, the players individually are better than they performed this year. Can you come fix this?" And the answer is, yes, he can. There is a reason why Brian Broaddus refers to Bill Callahan as running game Moses, because Bill Callahan is a monster at getting you to block and run the ball. How do you make your team less penalized? That one I don't know. The guy who got the most penalties, they benched for a while. His backup couldn't play. They put him back in. Randy Gregory's offside stuff was because Trent Williams was false starting. They weren't calling it. I don't know what to do about that. Defensive holding, you tell your players, stop being stupid. Like there was nothing you could win there. The block in the back, tell your receiver, stop being stupid. There was nothing you were going to pull off there. Nathan, cut candidates outside of D-Law, Coop, and LC. I appreciate the super chat, Nathan. Anthony Brown, maybe. I think you could save 4 or 5 millions on Anthony Brown. Let me pull up all of their contracts. There aren't a ton of them because a ton of them would come with a bunch of dead money. So cut candidates 2022 cap savings. Anthony Brown could save you $5 million. Greg Zuerlein could save you 2.5, but you'd still have to go get a kicker. Connor McGovern could save you 2.5. You don't have a lot of options. It's Coop who could save you 16 million. AB. That's about it. Other than that, it's going to be restructuring and just moving people's money around to try to save yourself money. That is their specialty. They could absolutely do that. Zeke's cap number is $18 million next year, and he's not even good. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Clayton, I just got tape on Ikwanu. I just got tape on him, so I'll have the scouting report on him soon. But my understanding is he is one of the guys that I'm comfortable saying you have no chance of drafting him at number 24 overall. I think Ikwanu, Evan Neal, probably Charles Cross. They are going early. They going early. Jarwin has to go. If Jarwin goes, you could save $4.25 million. But I think Jarwin's your starting tight end because Dalton Schultz is going to go. And you are going to need a starting tight end. You're going to get a comp pick for Schultz. Raiders Homer here. Love your content because you're honest, smart, somewhat objective, and fair, entertaining, and quality content. Thank you. Go Raiders. Sorry about the Mayock stuff or whatever. Who's going to be your head coach, Raider man? Sachi got a shot at it? Huh? Harbaugh? I could see the Raiders hiring Harbaugh. You think the thing about the Raiders, sorry about the sidebar, Cowboy people. The thing about the Raiders is they're doing their hiring wrong because they are doing the thing where they're looking for a savior, not a head coach. Like that was the Gruden thing. That was the Urban Meyer thing in Jacksonville. They're looking for one person that can like be the savior of an organization. And that's why I actually think that Jim Harbaugh is in play for the Raiders because I think they would view him that way where it's like, we hired Jim Harbaugh. Everything's fine. So yeah. Anthony Brown in a 7th rounder for Okuda in a 4th. Man, yeah, if that's a possibility, sure. Sure. Just hoping Kelvin Joseph is going to be the guy. Jeff, they wouldn't make Doug Nussmeier an OC, right? They could. They do like continuity. They could. But Kellen Moore's probably going to be the OC here. Kellen Moore, I don't think he's getting a head coaching job. That's my guess. I don't think he's going to get one. And I don't know that they're going to fire him. So it's likely that Kellen Moore is your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. I will say Mike Zimmer and Wink Martindale are my front runners. What I like about Wink is he is a big fan of, he can run 3-4 and 4-3. He has a background running both. But I love that his philosophy is like, give me all the best cover guys you can find and I'll get to the quarterback. Don't worry about it. I'll get there. And they have. Are you surprised there's been no announcement on Quinn? Well, he just finished all his interviews. So you got to figure out if somebody's going to offer him the job and if he's going to take it. And if that's going to happen, will he call Jerry and be like, sure, you don't want to make me that coach? So that's the thing. Do we have any potential comp picks this year? I'm sure. I have to look back at last year's signings. The Cowboys made a few free agent signings, though. So let me see. Let me find Dallas. You know me, I love my comp picks. 2022. But there's no rhyme or reason to the order you have them in here, guys. Dallas. Projected comp pick for Dallas would be, it looks like probably a 5th round pick. Cheeto and Cam Irving canceled out Basham and Neal signings. And Dalton was not canceled out. and that's a $10 million 1-year deal. That's a 5th-round pick likely. So you should have an extra 5. How about that? Boop, boop, boop. I'll take it. Vance, I appreciate you, brother. If you have to keep Kellen Moore, who would you demand he spend the offseason learning from? Who demand he spend the offseason learning from? Even Kellen Moore is really weird, right? Because he falls right in line with my general take in sports. My general take in sports is everybody who has really hard opinions and fast opinions is full of crap. Like Kellen Moore, despite the last 2 months of this season, when he has Dak Prescott as his quarterback, led the league in yards both years. And he finished 1st in scoring 1 year and 6th in scoring the next year. But man, they need to be more imaginative in the way that they run the ball. And they need to have more plays off of all of his fun and cute plays. Like if you think it's fun and cute to put Connor McGovern out in the slot in a bunch and throw a screen, that's great. But the next time you line up like that, what's your counterplay to that? What is your, okay, they've seen that. So this time it's this. And then what's your counterplay to the counterplay? You have to have 3 or 4 things off of each look. Otherwise, you're wasting time. If we let Randy walk, would you be on board with Parsons replacing him and draft Parsons replacement? Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Thompson. If you couldn't afford Randy and you didn't want to tag Randy, and I would move Micah Parsons to play in a bunch of the edge. And if you could get like Nakobe Dean from Georgia to be your other linebacker, and you have Nakobe Dean and Jabril Cox, and then Micah Parsons is playing on the edge, I'm down for that for sure. For sure. I want Micah rushing the passer a bunch. I surely do. A bunch. Who are they scoring against, Jeff? That doesn't matter. The amount of points you score over a 17 or 16 game season absolutely matters, because every other team in the league gets to play against poo-poo teams too. And at the end of the day, when you tally it up, if you scored more than anyone in football, the idea that you're totally incompetent, I just can't get on board with. But we did watch a couple months of struggle bus outside of those few games. Jerry isn't firing. Yeah, Jerry's firing people. I promise you he is. People getting fired. I promise you. Oh, dog barking. Dog barking. Jeff, would you keep Mike at edge full time? I keep Mike at edge a lot of the time. Against San Francisco, if you've got capable edges, I don't mind playing him at linebacker because, holy cow, he was flying all over the place making plays. You just line up Micah Parsons at whatever makes it hardest for your opposing team's defense. Who you got, Jeff? Green Bay or San Francisco? I got Green Bay beating San Francisco. And I got Tennessee. That's the first game, right? I got Tennessee beating Cincy, although I want Cincy to beat Tennessee. I tried to get Hellman on this. But he's busy. Just to see about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and how excited he is. Good morning, everyone. Do you keep Curse? Depends on the dollar amount. I'd like to. But if Dan Quinn's not here, is he the same player? Do they use him in the same way? Hard to say. Trammell, do they re-sign LVE? I doubt it. Oh, Gina, Hellman's hot for a short guy. That's what I'm talking about. He's in the market, Gina. Yeah, I saw Kurt Warner's breakdown. He also prefaced it with, I'm literally only showing you the bad plays. I'm not going to show you the good plays. But yeah, I think that was bad for Kellen and for Dak. Dak has to play better too. I know I'm the Dak guy. Dak has to play better. I just think that it was going to be really hard for Dak to be great this year regardless, because you couldn't protect against a 4-man rush and you're thrown into a coverage of 7 people to 3 receivers. So it was always going to be really, really hard. What do you think about the Cooper trade rumors? I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. I think, why is Steven versus Jerry contradicting each other versus on McCarthy? I do know the answer to that one, or at least my theory that I'm right on. My theory that I'm right on is Mike McCarthy is a Stephen Jones guy. Stephen was the big proponent of hiring him, and Stephen is a big proponent of keeping him. And Jerry is not as sold on Mike McCarthy. Jerry is getting very, very old, and he wants to do whatever he thinks will win him a Super Bowl. And he doesn't know if Mike McCarthy's the guy necessarily. And so maybe Jerry's trying to backdoor this thing and find a way to get a certain coach one state over to come here. And if he can, then he's going to get rid of his head coach. Jeff, do you and Hellman fight over Kelsey Charles? And Hellman is off the market. I watch how him and Kelsey interact. Kelsey's one of the dudes, brothers. There's no fighting over anybody. Stop with that, Jeff. Olave versus Jamison Williams. I don't know yet. Let me watch more players. Okay. I'm going to go. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Your boy is going to go work on a short game. And then your boy is going to figure out where he's watching football. Who are you watching next? Don't know. I've not been playing golf, Jimbo. I'm going to practice golf. My handicap is, I believe, a 22. I'm awful. My best round ever is a 90. I like to keep it under 100. That's the goal. Therapy is cool. Everyone needs to know that. The world would be a better place if everybody had it. Yeah, let's have ourselves a great day. My super got skipped. No, Clayton, what'd you do? Hold on, I'll stroll up. I'm going up. Why not Sean Lee as DC? I don't want any coach who has no coaching experience to be my actual coordinator. If you want to put Sean Lee on the coaching staff, I am about that life because I think he's really bright. I'm down for that. But not as my DC. All right. Bless everyone. Have a wonderful day. Oh, that was my alarm going off telling me that I do have a golf practice lesson thingy today. Be cool. Be nice to each other. Remember that you matter. You're important. I love you. Be cool to everybody. You have no idea what they're going through. I love you. Bye.